What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This past weekend was D23, where Disney and Marvel Studios showed a lot for the upcoming projects that are coming to the MCU. Now, they showed a lot of trailers at D23 for Captain America Brave New World, Agatha All Along, Ironheart, Daredevil Born Again. They did a teaser for the Fantastic Four, but we also got an actual scene from Captain America Brave New World. So this is different than the trailer, just to clarify. It's an actual scene, and it's incredibly important not just for the movie, but for the future of the MCU in its entirety. And Anthony Mackie, who plays Sam Wilson, Captain America in the film, said that this movie is going to be very big. At Comic-Con last month, he said, "It's a new beginning, and it's a foundation on which Marvel will build the universe on now. Not only this character, but all the characters that surround him are new building blocks for us to utilize to move on through the universe and into the future." And after you hear and see some parts of this clip, you'll understand why, because it is literally going to be the formation of the Avengers, and we have some serious X-Men implications in this scene as well, as Adamantium is introduced. So we'll go through the entire scene that they showed, and this clip consists of two separate scenes which are happening right after each other. I did try to upload the full trailer with the audio, with all the footage. Unfortunately, it got blocked, but we can show some pics and we can tell you exactly what they say. So let's start off with the second part of this, because I believe that it's actually edited to where the second part is the first part. The first part is of Sam Wilson going into the White House. We see a little bit of this in the actual trailer that we've gotten so far. However, they left out a really big part in the official trailer that they actually put in this clip. Sam Wilson enters the president's room, and President Ross says, "Wilson, thanks for coming in. Welcome to the White House." Sam then says, "Well, thank you for the invite, sir." Then President Ross says, "You and I haven't always agreed in the past, but what you've accomplished has made me reconsider, which is why I want you, Captain America, to help me rebuild the Avengers." So this part is completely left out of the actual trailer. They make us believe that President Ross simply called Sam Wilson in because he wants him to be Captain America again. He wants that official title to be part of the government, in which I'm sure that scene does actually happen. But then on top of that, what they didn't show us is this scene right here where he says, "I want you to help me rebuild an Avengers team." And this is huge because we have heard that this film will indeed set up or even kind of start to show us the new Avengers team. But the scene continues. When President Ross is speaking to Sam and he's telling him all of this, Sam is smiling and he's listening to him very intently. He's very focused on what he's saying. But as soon as he says he wants his help to make a new Avengers team, Sam's facial expression changes drastically. He goes from smiling to almost a frown. You can see that he's got a very concerned look on his face. He looks at President Ross very confused, and then he says, "The Avengers." President Ross says, "Yes, sir." And Sam Wilson looks even more concerned as he kind of struggles to find some words. And then he says, "But with all due respect, sir, when you passed the Sokovia Accord, you tore the Avengers apart. Why the change of heart?" Then President Ross says, "I represent all Americans now. Hell, half of them wouldn't even be here without the Avengers. The country needs this." Then we get that classic line that Sam Wilson says in the actual trailer, "And when we disagree about how to manage a situation, what happens then?" It then cuts to black, then shows this scene right here with Captain America in the middle of the president and another person who we're not sure who this character is yet. But then President Ross says, "Work with me, Sam," which again is something we heard in the trailer. So the official trailer that we got, that is out, is a little bit misleading, but hey, that's what Marvel Studios does now at this point in time, and we kind of like it. We like to be misled a little bit. That way, not everything in the movie is spoiled. But clearly, with this leaked scene, it's very obvious that this is going to be a pretty important movie for the future of the MCU. In fact, the Avengers team that will have an Avengers Doomsday is going to start to be established in this film, and we could quite possibly see some of those characters in this movie as well, giving us some possible pretty cool cameos like Shang-Chi, maybe Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, maybe Thor returns, who knows. But we'll get a pretty big feel for what the new Avengers team is going to be like. Maybe we'll get a lot of name drops. I will post this clip to my Instagram so you can see it, because apparently they can't take it down on Instagram, or at least they haven't yet. So to see that clip about the new Avengers and the clip that we're about to talk about with Adamantium, you can check out my Instagram, I'll link it below. So this next scene was shown first, but again, I think this is after after Ross has the conversation with Sam Wilson telling him, hey, I want Captain America to be an official position again, and I want you to bring back the Avengers. So I think this happens right after that conversation, because now Sam is in the crowd and the president is giving an address to both the United States and Japan, the people in power of those countries. They're in the White House, and a giant round screen comes down from the ceiling and kind of surrounds President Ross here. It's so everybody can see, and on it, it says United States and Japan Celestial Island Summit. So it looks like Japan and the United States are working with each other when it comes to the Celestial Tiamat and Adamantium, and that explains the other character that was next to Sam Wilson and President Ross in that one scene. So the summit kicks off, and President Ross says, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great privilege to host you at the White House on this historic evening. When the celestial mass emerged from the Indian Ocean, we did what we often do. We squabbled over it. And as he's talking, we can see on the screen pictures of the Celestial pop up. And with that, data about the Celestial. So they have clear data, it already seems. So he says we squabbled over it. Countries rushed in to claim it as their own, setting up research facilities. And as he says this, the screen around him shows some images of a refinement factory, which basically he's showing that a bunch of countries are fighting over this, setting up their own research facilities, and it's all ultimately leading to the point to where he tells us that it's a precious metal, it's adamantium. And he says that they set up resource facilities to exploit its resources. Then he says, but the truth is, this new element belongs to all of us. Then he says, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Adamantium. And what's interesting is that you can see when he says this, Sam Wilson and now the new Falcon walking Taurus next to him look very concerned. So does the leader from Japan. He looks incredibly concerned. And when it pops up on the screen, it says Adamantium, the world's most versatile element. President Ross says it's been recovered and is in a secure location. And we have our own Captain America to thank for that. And that's where this scene ends. And that last line that he says, we have our own Captain America to thank for this, that's why I believe that this is actually kind of the second scene, as in this part happens after the second part that they showed, even though they showed this first and the other second. I believe this happens after President Ross has the talk with Sam Wilson stating, hey, I want Captain America to be a thing again and the Avengers to come back. And that's why he calls him our own Captain America in this scene, because he's already had that talk with him. And he's already made the announcement, hey, guess what? Captain America is part of the government again. The Avengers are coming back. Then they have the summit where they announce that our Captain America got adamantium for us. And I think the concern from Captain America and Falcon comes from the fact that they probably didn't 100% know what they were trying to recover when they were sent to Tiamat Island. I'm sure Ross came to him and asked him for help because all of the countries were seemingly fighting over this, and that may even be some of the scenes that we have seen in the trailer that is already released, where Sam and Falcon are flying all around Tiamat. Ships are attacking them, planes are attacking them. Plus, not to mention, it seems like Marvel Studios has been doing this thing recently where they show us the beginning of the film. And what I mean by that is all of the scenes in the trailers, for the most part, are all just clips from early on in the movie, which is great. That's how it was for Deadpool and Wolverine. Most of what they showed us in the trailers happen in the first quarter of the movie, unless it's about 2 to 3 weeks after, then they just go full on with the spoilers. Like the trailers and the clips that they post now have all of the cameos in those trailers. But for the most part, with the teaser trailer, with the regular trailer, and the TV spots that come before the movie's coming out, it seems like they just show us clips from the beginning of the film for the most part. So when we see Captain America and Falcon flying around Tiamat, I believe that's probably the fight to obtain adamantium in the beginning before this all happens, before this summit happens. Or perhaps maybe at some point in time they have to go back because they want to get more of it. Either way, the implications of this scene right here are huge, and they are setting up the X-Men in a really big way, with Wolverine being the biggest setup right here. In case you didn't know, adamantium is the metal that is fused to his skeleton and what his claws are made out of. And for the most part, it's almost as strong as vibranium. I think it's widely believed that vibranium is the stronger metal, but adamantium still is incredibly powerful. I mean, it's Wolverine's claws. That's really all you kind of need to know at that point. So with these two scenes that they showed at D23, it's very clear that Marvel Studios is setting up the future of the MCU in an incredibly huge way with the new Avengers and the X-Men. Both teams are seemingly coming to the MCU very soon. Of course, we know Avengers Doomsday, and it's been confirmed for a while by Marvel Studios themselves that they are working on the X-Men reboot right now. It seems like they have their writer, and I'm sure casting is happening as we speak and has been going on for some time now. So lots of really exciting things. Let me know how excited you are in the comments down below. And again, if you want to see those clips, I'll put them on my Instagram, and I hope they stay up. But please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the future MCU videos. Also, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.